At least 12 people have been killed and dozens of others injured during attacks on the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv. Ukraine's Air Force says Russia launched 145 drones and 70 missiles, including 11 ballistic missiles, during the overnight attacks. Ukraine's Interior Minister Igor Klimenko says 7 other regions apart from Kyiv and the surrounding region were also under mass attack. U.S. President Donald Trump says the attacks were not necessary and very bad timing as he pushes for peace between Ukraine and Russia. Moscow is accusing Zelenskyy of obstructing peace talks by refusing to compromise. Dasha Chernyshyova reports from Moscow.
We have heard the Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova accusing Ukrainian presidents of actually inability to make any concessions when it comes to the negotiated settlement for the Ukraine conflict, and suggesting that this position is actually torpedoing any peace initiatives. She also has said that by minute it is becoming evident that Ukraine's Zelenskyy is unable to strike a deal, and that was also the case during the implementation of the Minsk agreement. So Moscow is drawing the parallels here as well. Meanwhile, Moscow says that it is continuing its negotiations with the American colleagues, and Moscow says it does welcome the approach of the new American administration. They cherish the input of the Americans into this whole situation. But also we understand that Moscow is seeing certain differences in the position of the Western countries when it comes to the Ukrainian settlement. The West is not united in how to approach the negotiations on Ukraine. Moscow also welcomed the statements of the U.S. president on Crimea, suggesting that they are in line with the Russian general position. Again, Moscow has earlier welcomed the statements from Washington that Ukraine should not become a part of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. That was also part of meeting Russia's concerns to this settlement. So Moscow insists it is going to continue the negotiations, but what matters for these talks from the Russian point of view is that the Russian national interest, Russia's concerns, are well addressed in any negotiated settlement. At the same time, militarily, we are hearing from the Russian side confirmation that there was indeed an overnight strike, the massive strike using high-precision weapons against the military targets of Ukraine. Moscow insists that it was targeting the military-industrial complex of Ukraine, namely the airfields, as well as the aviation and aerospace industry that was responsible for the military supplies. And Moscow says all of those targets have been achieved. The Kremlin saying that this is part of Russia achieving the goals of what it calls its special military operation in Ukraine.